Hello and welcome to Labour Lens. I am Sharon Ijason. On this week's edition of the program, we'll continue our reportage on the 112th ILO conference, which took place in Geneva, Switzerland. We also have news stories for you. We will be right back.
Candidature of His Excellency Ambassador Yoon from the Republic of Korea has been put forward. Does the employers group endorse this candidature? You have the floor, Madam Honodros.
Nigeria has handed over the governing board chairmanship of the International Labour Organization to South Korea after serving for a year. Addressing member countries at the 350th session of the ILO governing body meeting, Nigerian ambassador to the United Nations in Geneva, Switzerland, Richard Adejola, spoke about the changing demographics in the world of work. Members of the ILO governing board spoke about the leadership style of Ambassador Richard Adejola.
Let's stay, as Kathleen said, let's stay in contact. Maybe the tripartism, even though it's not always pleasant, but it does lead to positive results, will have left some traces of positive resonance with you, and you will then have a positive relation also with the social partners, be it in Nigeria, be it at global or at regional level. So thank you very much indeed, and our great appreciation.
Able to continue our cordial relations once you have stepped down, and with that I wish you all the best for your future endeavors.
I think that through your chairship you have showed that we can work together through difficult circumstances, and so that we ensure that no one is left behind. You did this with tact, you did this with diplomatic astuteness, wit, and I even learned that you know Greek philosophy very well. We have witnessed your depth of the English dictionary, and we thank you very much, Chair, for steering the work of the governing body. Thank you.
Just before you leave for the day,
Director General of the International Labour Organization presented a gavel to Ambassador Richard Adejola.
The Director General for the warm remarks.
The international organization is focused on advancing social justice and promoting decent work for global development. It has 187 member states. On the profile interview segment this week, I'll be speaking with the 2023-2024 ILO Governing Board Chair, Ambassador Richard Adejola. He tells us about his experience serving as the ILO Governing Board Chair and preferred solution to some global crises that the world is faced with. It's good to have you on the program.
Thank you, Sharon.
And congratulations on handing over successfully. Can you tell us what your experience was like to serve the ILO Governing Board for a year?
You see, as I said earlier, at the GB, it was a bittersweet experience. But when I say bitter, not really bitter, because it comes with the territory. You have to take everything in stride. You know, as they say, when you pray for rain, you also expect the mud. So you can't just take all the beauties of what you do, but other scenarios that are not so pleasant, so will be part of the story. So, but through it all, I think the experience has really been wonderful. It's such an organization that is so unique. Unique in the sense that, look, virtually all international organizations, you're dealing with the government, and then governments are actually discussing, debating with one another. But this is a different scenario altogether. And a scenario where you have the tripartite nature coming out to play. the employers, global employers, the workers, global workers, and then governments. And you see, don't also forget that there is nothing homogeneous about governments. So because even within your region, our region, you know, the continent, then globally, so nothing homogeneous. So you have different opinions and different views. Yeah, don't blame them. It's all geopolitics. At the end of the day, it is what is good for you and your people as a government.
Because I know you're a diplomat, and there were times whereby the workers' body were a little bit hostile, trying to pull you. I remember the second meeting that I attended, and I could see diplomacy at work there and how you were able to balance conversation to ensure that there were certain decisions that were made. So would you want to share with us an experience of one of such decisions that ILO governing body actually had to take, and how you were able to use diplomacy to ensure that all sides were carried along?
I think there were a couple of those. Don't forget that ordinarily we should have had 3 governing body sessions, but because of the pertinence of what was introduced at the end of the day, we had 5 altogether, the 5 being the additional 2 special sessions devoted to standard setting, and then the right to strike. But I say this much: it's not about workers alone. You know, of course, the employers, and then governments. As I said earlier, don't forget that there is nothing homogeneous about governments. Different government from different groups. Is it within the Asian Pacific group, the one they call ASPAC? You find that they don't always agree on one issue. That's one part of the whole. So maybe GRULAC, as it were. But they always make efforts to do it. And then Africa, then IMEC and the EU. So but it's quite profound in that even when you find those differences coming out to play, there are always efforts, to bring view, to harmonize our view.
This wealth of experience that you've gained serving as the governing board of the ILO, don't you think is a wealth of experience that you might need to share back at home?
Yes. Well, for me, it's
because a lot of immersion here.
Yeah, I know. It's worthwhile that you don't hide those things. You find a way to impart that, and it matters a lot. Look, how many people, even when we believe we know about labor issues, even when we believe we know about employment scenarios, but to harmonize all those things and see how decisions are made globally, that affect individual governments, and not only governments, how those decisions affect the people, the employers, workers. So because we always look at ILO from the prism of yes, labor. Yes, it's a part of the whole. Labor on its own cannot go about it solely. Then you have to also factor in the employers, and you factor in the government.
Yeah, listening to the reaction of all the group, I wouldn't say pressure group, but subgroups during the handing over, they spoke well of your exemplary leadership and also about the country. So how would you react to that? Which didn't happen last year. I'm a proud Nigerian, but I know that I covered the last governing board session, and it wasn't as ceremonial as it was today. We didn't really have many people talk about the previous person, but it's like they're already missing your style of leadership. So how would you react to that?
No, it's all about Nigeria, actually. You know, maybe that's who we are as Nigerians. We just want to find a way to put smiles on people's lips. Yes, there may be challenges. There will be challenges. That's why we are humans. But for us to work out those challenges, yes, I enjoyed working with them, despite the I don't want to use the word trauma, but I enjoyed my work, and I'm also happy that they found accommodation in within the limits they have to also see what I do, and then to also interpret what my efforts. Yes, that's why I said I'm really happy for Nigeria, you know, because many a time we get bad press for no just cause, you know. Yeah, others just don't like us, you know, not because we have done anything wrong, but because we are big, you know. They say when you're big, you're big. But and it is my hope and prayer that we take that bigness, you know, forward more, and then to also ensure that our people, you know, get to enjoy the dividends of democracy, as we love that phrase in Nigeria.
Okay, I know that I've asked 2-3 questions and everything seems to be interwoven, but would you want to make some comments on some action programs of the ILO and how it relates to the world of work generally?
Yeah, you know, whether we like it or not, the intersectionality between what is going on now and then what we are doing over there at the ILO should really be discussed. And I'm happy that we have also realized the fact that the world is waiting for no one. Take, for instance, you know, the post-COVID experiences here and there, you know. They also talk about the issue of demographics, you know, labor migration. So these are pertinent issues that are, you know, coming up, and I'm also happy that we had a special meeting, not a session per se, but it's a meeting devoted to digitalization and AI. You see, we cannot just fold our hands to say that, oh yes, yeah, this is happening. But how would that impact our work? Either positively or negatively. Every employer, you know, wants outputs, and then should there be a situation where, you know, digitalization will affect that? It could be positive to the employer that, look, if I have if I employ robotics, you know, if I employ digitalization, proper digitalization, I could you know, cut off the work of 80 people out of 100. So what happens to those 80 people? But now, rather than look at it negatively, so it is to say that how can those 80 also benefit from what is ongoing? And don't forget that it is a human thing. We want to always, you know, progress. We want to always ensure that we maximize the benefits of what we, and so we should not be fearful. Really, I'm not too sure how old Sharon is in 1990 to 2000, when the Y2K, you know, when we were moving from 1999, all manners of scenarios were playing out. No, it's going to be difficult, you know, maybe everything will be cut off, this and so, but we just found out that, look, many a time we trouble ourselves over nothing. But maybe it's good to do that, because in troubling ourselves, we also find accommodation, you know, in solutions to what might be. So we prepare for it. I'm told for boxers, You know, the punch that takes you out in the ring is the one you don't see. You know, so because when you see, you brace for impact, you prepare for it. So, and that's why I was glad we had that conversation at ILO. And so, it's just the beginning. And then,
any comments on platform economy?
Yeah, I will also link it to it. Yeah, it's also a way of saying that we came out of COVID-19 circumstances and situations with all manners of ideas. See, many people felt, oh, yeah, we could make money without even stepping out of our, but if in doing that also, we need to ensure that no one is shortchanged, no one is, cheated out of the. So that's why the ILO itself is trying to work on platform, and I think the next year's ILC that would take form and shape. So, but it's ideal that they're talking about it now, and they're also looking at how the better ways to address it, So, but it's huge, actually, it's huge. So, but not only platform economy, we look at the totality of what is going on, even the IP processes, how intellectual property, could be used to benefit each country. And when you have a bulging population, particularly many that are youthful, so. And don't also forget that this is their domain. I'm not sure how old your children are, because you give them a new phone and they just begin to work on it. You ask them, how did you know it? The response is simple. I just know it. How did you know? Who taught you? No. So that's why we should not be fearful of what is coming in terms of what the realization of the expansion of the platform economy now. So that you don't need what you need most now. Can be done online. So, but how do we expand that to benefit everyone? There is something in it for all of us, and that's why I believe I'm really confident of the future, and we should not be fearful of the future. Rather, it is for us to embrace it, but by embracing it, we need to understand it. So we need to understand, how do we get to understand it? We understand it by learning about it. We shouldn't fold our arms and throw our hands in the air that, yeah, I don't know about this. No. You know about this, you've heard about it, so what are we going to do? So all hands, for me, must be on deck at the level of government, at the level of employers, and then the workers.
We're going to move on to the advancement of work generally. And with your experience as the ILO Governing Board Chair for the last 1 year, what would you say is the social outcome and employment outlook for the next few years?
What will be the lot of workers, in particular, in the next few years? Don't also forget that, as I said, the cascading effect of digitalization and AI, which could be positive or negative, depending on how we're able to quickly embrace it and then use it, as platform to launch, better quality of life for people, and then an engagement, in several sectors. So we also have to, open forth our minds, to what is doable, and in the interim, how can we? The prognosis, for me, the prognosis are not entirely bad. They're not entirely bad. Yes, for now, you find out that the number of unemployed people, worldwide, it's actually not what anyone should be happy about, So, and it is to that extent, I believe such engagements at this level would serve useful purposes at the end of the day. We also need to, move with the flow. Really, it is that would be in the interest of everyone. Look, I should not say because I am trained on this. No, you can have multiple trainings. Multiple training. It's better for the human mind. The human intellect. So. And I do believe also that where the capacity to do that sometimes should not be withheld from anyone. So, and that's why training and retraining matters. Wherever, in any organization, government or private organization. So, because we all benefit, it's like a win-win situation. So, and that's why I believe all over the world, the world of work should not suffer for the presence of digitalization or the future of AI. So not should suffer. Rather, we can be so creative as humans, actually. So, and it is to that extent we have to ensure that no one is left behind. Yes. It is not going to be 100%, So, but why must it be 40% if it's not going to be 80%? So, that's my point. And to the extent possible too, when you hear of the data statistics, of the unemployed, it's heartbreaking, and that should not be so. So. Those are the areas the ILO as an organization should also be focused on. And yes, while it is good to talk about decent work, it is good to talk about social justice, but we also need to be frontal in ensuring that we embrace, the new. But I think they are not resting on their oars, but to ensure that they're moving with the flow of tide, the tide. Exactly.
Nigeria has been able to shine forth with this particular opportunity which you've served out. What more would you say to the federal government as regards this? And maybe there'll be other opportunities at other global institutions for us to be able to contribute our own quota to the development of the world.
I do believe that every opportunity, given to any Nigerian is a great opportunity. I put it this way: for every work you asked to, or every project you are asked to execute for the government of Nigeria, you have millions of people who could do that, better. So for me, I consider it a very rare privilege, that I had the opportunity and the privilege of doing this. As it were, you heard that we held that position 52 years ago. So for me, it's something of value. I quite cherish it, and this could not have happened, without the wonderful opportunity I received from His Excellency, my very own President, Excellency, the President Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Federal Republic of Nigeria, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, because without him I won't be doing it. And for me, it's like doing it on his behalf, and that's why it gives me much joy that they found my stewardship acceptable. But it's, as I said, it's not about me. It's about our country, Nigeria. So I want to also seize this opportunity to express a very profound appreciation to Mr. President for the honor. It's a great honor, something I never took for granted. It's a very, I don't know how to express it, but I thank him very much, and I wish him success, in championing the cause of good governance and to also provide, democracy dividends to our people. I do believe President is not resting, so I wish him more strength, in carrying the baton to the next level. And I also want to say to Nigerians, that it's a big honor to represent my country, and then to say that I am proud of my country and then my people.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
And that's all we can take on today's edition of the program. Join us next week for a fresh edition of the show. I am Sharon Ijason. Thanks for watching, and remember that labor creates wealth.